Hi, I'm Sean Michael Reagan for Cool Tools, and in today's video I want to tell you about my favorite bargain LED flashlight. Stay tuned. I first saw this design marketed in 2013 under the brand name Blocklite, and I fell in love with it right away because at the time, while it was already obvious that LEDs were going to take over the world as far as lighting was concerned, when it came to flashlights there were basically two options. Too cheap, like these goofy keychain lights, and too expensive, like these fancy tactical flashlights that were some of the first commercial products using high-power LEDs. And this approach struck me as a really smart compromise between those extremes. Since then, high-power LEDs have gotten a lot less expensive, and now there are a bunch of these cheap aluminum flashlights around. But I still prefer my Blocklite for most purposes because it has proven to be much more reliable. I have never, in the 6 years I've owned it, reached for my Blocklite, flipped the switch, and had it not work. Whereas with these guys, that seems to happen every 3 or 4 months. Since the Blocklite first came out, they've introduced a 2.0 version, and I've got one of those to show you here. It's got a push-button switch instead of a slider with an elastomer cover on it. This elastomer is actually a glow-in-the-dark material that's supposed to help you find the thing when the lights go out. And though it does actually glow in the dark, I'm dubious about how much of a difference that little speck of it is going to make. This version also introduces a magnet in the side of the case opposite the switch, which is at least strong enough to mount the thing on the side of your fridge, though it won't be good for much more than that. But the biggest change is that on the low setting, the lights now blink, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Maybe the idea is to use this mode as a signal light when you're lost in the woods or stuck on the side of the road or something, but I'd much rather have a continuous low brightness mode myself. Here's a more interesting option. This is called the PAK-LITE, and it is in fact a US-made product. These are manufactured by the Henry family of Wolf Creek, Oregon, and they actually have a patent on this idea, which was issued in 2003. The PAK-LITE is a half an inch shorter and 3 grams lighter than the Blocklite, and if we flip it over and look on the underside, you can see that the guts are actually potted in some kind of clear thermosetting compound, which should make it hold up even to full immersion better than the Blocklite, which if we look at this one I cut open, you can see has no internal waterproofing other than the standard PCB conformal coat. There are only 2 LEDs on the PAK-LITE, which are either both bright, both dim, or both off, so you're going to get less light out of this design, but on the other hand, you're also going to get longer battery life. This model has a glow-in-the-dark case, which I have a lot more confidence in than the scrap of GITD rubber on the side of the Blocklite Model 2, both because this seems to be made of a more responsive material, and because, due to the fact that the whole case is made out of it, rather than just a button on the side, the PAK-LITE is actually self-energizing. The only downside to the PAK-LITE is that it is much more expensive than the Blocklite, $24 a piece versus $9. Okay, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.